Peace Seal, Jordan here with video update number 7 for Friday, August 25th at about 3 p.m.-ish. Your situational update. So there's not much more to report on the wildfire as progress continues to be made. The controlled burns that took place yesterday in the Shannon Lake area were successful. So this will allow for more opportunities to downgrade evacuation orders to alert, get folks back into their homes. So we're looking forward to hearing more updates as the day goes on, and there probably have been more since I started even pressing the record button here. We are expecting weather to be not so favorable moving into the weekend and as the weekend progresses. So please continue to be vigilant, prepared, and mindful that we aren't out of the woods quite yet. So always have your belongings packed and ready to go if you're in an alert area. But we will do our best to continue to fight the fires and keep you updated as things go on. This being said, there's still strong optimism that the controls around the fire will be able to be established, and optimism is felt throughout the operations center and those on the front line with boots on the ground fighting this fire. We've been able to visit the operations center in West Bank a couple times now, and the atmosphere just continues to improve, and the BC Wildfire Services have now moved out of that space and have set up camp in the Bear Creek campground. So they're closer to the fire in a safe way and able to protect our communities in a better way. Moving into recovery. So got some pretty exciting news. Today was an absolutely historical event for West Bank First Nation, albeit not for the best reasons, but for the first time in WFN's history, we welcomed Prime Minister Justin Trudeau to our office. This is the first time any Prime Minister has ever set foot on WFN lands in a formal manner. He was able to spend some time with our chief and leadership, mayors from across the region, and just have some discussions as to what was working, what has worked as far as response goes, what needs to be improved, and what do we need to consider as we move into the recovery stages of fighting this fire. There's so many things that need to be upheld. There's so many ideas that came forward, but at the end of the day, we just know that there's going to be a lot of work that needs to be done to look after our communities, to help repair what's needed, and just to make sure that we still have the infrastructure in place so that we can continue to operate the way that we have been leading up to this point. So leadership and staff are mindful that there is a tremendous amount of work as we move towards recovery. Having Prime Minister Trudeau enter into our space here and visit the operations center in West Bank and touch base with some of our firefighters and BC Wildfire Services, it's just reassuring for the firefighters knowing that there's national attention and federal support for their operations as they exist, but also the recovery as we move forward. For WFN, it's a reminder that we have a very strong and well-respected government and administration. Prime Minister Trudeau chose to meet here in our office as opposed to City of Kelowna or City of West Kelowna. We're very proud that we are able to open up our doors, have those discussions, and we're hopeful that moving into the recovery phase of this operation that we will be supported to meet all of our needs, both right from those individuals who have been affected directly by the homes to our operations here, and recognition for our staff that have gone well above and beyond to work with the EOC in response to this wildfire. Our leadership is doing our best to ensure supports are provided at all levels across all spectrums, and it has been recognized by so many individuals along all levels of government that the response to this fire was only as effective as it was because of the collaboration and support provided across all jurisdictions. Unfortunately, emergency response has been a major aspect of our government, and as acknowledged yesterday, it is something that we all need to improve upon, but we also need to make sure it's being done right. What I can say is that Chief and Council and our community has to recognize the efforts of our WFN staff. In times of utter chaos, it could be easy for anyone to step back and go into survival mode, but for so many of our staff, they stepped forward, stood up, and made it known that they were available for whatever is needed at any time, day or night. Right from our Director of Operations, Dolores Ellingbo, to many of our directors and staff, Graham Dimmick, Joe Moselek, Krista Derrickson, Wendy Emery, Louise Baptiste, Mandy Carroll, Christy Jean, who all spent time attending the Emergency Operations Center above and beyond their day-to-day tasks here at WFN. Those are 12-hour shifts, making sure that we are informed, organized, and ready to support where needed and when needed. And all the other staff that were being pulled in so many different directions, being asked to fill in and step forward. Jolene Esau, who stepped into our senior leadership position, coordinating staff and ensuring our WFN operations carried on seamlessly. Right through to our LEOs, utilities and public works crews, being there firsthand to support firefighting efforts and safety measures that were needed at that time, who took action, to our health and wellness and membership services teams who constantly checked in on our members to make sure they're provided what they needed, to make sure they're being checked upon and just staying connected. To our property management team and finance, who had to make sure work was able to carry out with as little disruption as possible. The many staff who continued to show up despite being on evacuation order themselves just to get their job done. Through our amazing frontline staff here at the Lindley Building, the Youth Center, Community Services, and our Utilities Office. You were asked to step forward, answer calls that you often didn't ever engage with in recent times, but you did so with grace, with humility, but with that responsibility to our memberships to make sure their needs are being met, their questions are being answered. I was told the phone lines over at Community Services haven't stopped ringing. I can only imagine how complex the work became under such tense circumstances. Thank you so much for doing such great work for our people and doing it with such elegance. There are so many people that need and deserve to be recognized, and I'm so deeply sorry that I'm not able to name each person and recognize you for how much you've given of yourself to support our community. So many of you have been running on adrenaline, coffee, energy drinks, and just sheer determination. You are warriors. And council and our community is so grateful to have you working for our people. Please know we love you so much, and hopefully when things calm down, we can recognize you in a more respectful way. As far as updates go, I'm hopeful that this will be the last video message regarding the wildfires. Should things pick up over the weekend and going into next week, I can assure you we'll resume video messaging to our members, make sure you're informed and connected with. But if you don't hear from me, take it as a good sign that things are going in the right direction. We do expect full operations to be in place come Monday, except for the daycare, which still remains in an evacuation alert area. We are anticipating this may carry into next week, so staff are working on a plan to ensure we can open the daycare early next week with the appropriate emergency and evacuation plans in place. For these updates, please continue to check SMEMI. Also, please be mindful that we still have a number of members and staff who continue to be affected by the fires, and some are on evacuation orders. So as much as we're expecting the offices to be open and operational, there is still potential for some disruptions. So please continue to practice patience, mindfulness, and kindness. So everyone, as I sign off for hopefully the last time regarding the McDougall Creek wildfire, I just want to take a moment to say thank you. Thank you to our community members who opened your doors to our members in need, their dogs, cats, and other pets. There was so much potential for things to go absolutely bonkers. But again, you've proven how amazing our people are, especially in difficult times. Thank you for opening your doors, your hearts, and continue to support each other. I can't lie. It's a little tough to sign off because there's just so much more I feel I need to say, but I've taken so much of your time already, so I'll just leave you with a prayer from our school. Golan Chutin Canwist, Creator from up above, Tali Chastis Ba'us Kuala. We are so grateful to be here today. Lem Limtikul Timhulauch, thank you for our lands. Lem Limtikul Silk, thank you for our waters. Lem Limtikul Stichin, thank you for the food. Lem Lim Kolan Chutin, thank you, Creator. Chak Chastis Naksiltit. We hope our relatives are doing well. Until we see each other again. White limit.